Hello, today we're going to be beginning our button training. So before we begin actually discussing how to create a button, there are some things that you should do with your website. Before you just go and create a button, there are some things that you need to do. You need to ask yourself, is a button the best way to display content? Why use a button? Can you use a link instead? Links can be lost in a lot of text, whereas buttons can be used to draw a user's attention to a resource or web page or an item. You can also use buttons as a call to action, like complete this form or submit your feedback. Just heed my warning, buttons should be used sparingly. So before you get started, I recommend just taking a few minutes and actually looking at all of your web pages on your site. All the parent site that you have, and then the children's site under that. So for example, a parent site might be csuohio.edu/FYE for first year experience, and then a child site might be FYE/ASC 101 or peer mentors. So again, children's sites are the children of the main site that you have. So after looking, gaining some familiarity with your web page, ask yourself, is it too text heavy? Are there too many links on certain pages? Have you actually created a lot of buttons? So is it button heavy? Are your sites asking users to do too many things visually? Do you have way too many pictures? Do you have too many text? Do you have way too many buttons or a combination of everything? If they're too busy, then that means you need to actually, separate your content. So take a few moments then after you reflect on those questions and figure out how you might basically kind of separate out your content. Once you do that, then it will be helpful to identify a click path. A click path is a sequence of clicks, hyperlinks, and buttons a user takes on your website. For example, back to the FYE, I might go into the main homepage or the parent site, FYE, and then if I want to learn more about the Clee State Compass, I'll drill down on the Clee State Compass. So my click path was csuohio.edu/FYE, and then the second website I clicked on was the Clee State Compass. So I basically have a click path of two sites. All right, once a user's on the page, ask yourself, what information would they expect? And just asking yourself, and again, taking this time to briefly reflect on kind of the purpose of the site and what your audience wants to see and what they should see will actually help you with creating a button and actually creating a better site for your user. So the first step is, after you look at your site, is to go in and actually create a site folder if you already don't have one. So I recommend saving everything not on your desktop but on your lanyard. And if you look, I have here Jacob, and then just creating a website folder and then images. So I've helped several of you basically with kind of helping design your logos. So one of the things I did was success programs and creating kind of a button folder. So then all of these items that are here you can actually just dump in your button folder. And we'll go into this in more detail. So again, bottom line, just go into your lanyard. If you don't have a folder, contact your supervisor and figure out where you should put it at on the lanyard. Put your name or the department, website, and then the actual buttons. Okay? Create a button folder. So once we've created our folder, we're going to log into Canva. And if you don't have credentials for that, contact me. My email is j.roop@csuohio.edu. And I will gladly share those with you. So we log into Canva. And then we come up and we search our designs. And what I've done is I've created a website template, a button template for you all. and it's just called General Website Buttons. Again, General Website Buttons. So simply go on here, access this, and as you can see, there's different button colors. There's already images that are present. Feel free to use these. And then what you need to do then is you need to save a copy. So each of you should have access to this. And if you want to create something, let's say, okay, I want to save this. So you go to then File, make a copy. And then you'll save this basically and name it as your area. So for example, let's do student success. Student success website buttons. Okay, now once I'm done with that, I'll save it. All right, great. So again, by doing that, what you're doing is individuals throughout the division are able now to go in and still access the general website button template, and anyone else can't go in. I mean, they can go in and select yours if they wanted, but bottom line is by naming it, by creating a copy and naming it, people are less likely to come in and, you know, kind of borrow yours. So right now I've done that. I made a copy based off of the general website button template, and we're going to go in and we'll actually talk about the buttons. So basically we have, as you can see here, the various color schemes at the university. So we have the green, the orange, and I recommend sticking within that color scheme. So if you're not familiar with it in Canva, you can go in and you'll have all of these CSU approved colors up here, and it's from secondary palette all the way up through university green and fresh green. So you can use the colors that are here, or you can use the icons that are here as well, or use any of the colors that are listed and are university approved. So basically, here are the buttons. They're simple, but they're kind of cool looking. What I would recommend is having two parts, an image and then text. So the image is actually referred to as an icon, and no, not icon, an icon. So an icon is just an image that is, you know, used to convey something. So like a home, like your main parent site that we were referring to might be the home page. So you can use a house. If you want to think of a location, 24-hour support. You can convey that by using numbers if you want a checklist. So that's what an icon is, okay? So we'll come back to our design. All right, so we'll go in and we'll build, basically, we'll use this contact us as a button. So we've gone in and it's already built for us, but when you're asking yourself, okay, what icon should I use? You need to ask yourself kind of three things. One, is it free? As you know, Canva allows you to, so let's just do phone or contact. Canva gives you, if you look off to the left, various options. And right here you have one for $1. So basically what we want are items that are free only. You can find that by coming here and then selecting free only. All right, so is it free? Yes. All right. Then I will use it. If it's not, don't use it. And then, so let's say, all right, I really like this phone. So there we go. I can use it. Now, the next thing you need to ask is, can you customize the color? So you find that by clicking on it. See at the top how you can, the color has changed now to black and white. Whenever you're using colors, you want to make sure that all the items will basically be white. And we'll show you why. So we have our icon. shrink it to size. Okay. And the next is, so bottom line is, can you change the color? If yes, then you want to go with that one. The next would be, does it represent kind of what you're asking users to go to? For example, contact us. What are, visuals that come to mind, or pictures that come to mind? So like a phone or something of that nature. So right now, for me, a phone is something that, generally is acceptable for connecting with an individual or a company or somebody. So let's just come down here. We'll delete this one, or actually move this down off to the side. And see how I made it white. And we'll shrink it. And there we go. You can manipulate it. You can put it sideways, whatever you want. So we'll just put it like this. Contact us. So then you can come in here and change the text. When creating text, keep the font what it is. We want within division for all the font to be kind of consistent. Typically a rule of thumb is keep it to 2 words, 3 words max. My recommendation is 1. So see how it says contact us? That's 2 separate words. Compass is 1. FYE seminar. So when you're thinking about text, think about what users will understand, to basically the kind of common theme or thread that's tying everything on that website or that resource together that users will understand. And make sure then that you use terms that are understandable to your audience. For example, will international students from China actually know what 411 means? That's kind of an American kind of slang. Or will they know what all-in-one is? So I would think that all-in-one is more kind of universal than what 411 is. So when you're thinking of terminology, make sure that you keep it general. And again, you can help by doing that, by asking yourself and reflecting on, okay, what terms will be relevant to my audience? When you create a button, avoid changing the font size. It's 32, or the image size, or then the size of the actual box. And you can play around with it, but I recommend not touching it too much, because it'll throw off kind of the sizing of your images, and basically your buttons are just smaller images. And I'll show you how to kind of manipulate them once we actually import them into the website. So look, we created a Contact Us button. We have the icon, the text, the button. Great. So the next step now is to actually go in and use the snipping tool and take a screenshot of this. So the snipping tool is a really great tool for taking screenshots. So you can find it by selecting the scissors with at the very bottom of my screen. You can select that there, or you can go enter in at the bottom left, snipping tool. And this is not for Mac users. This is for any individual that has a PC. Go up here, select snipping tool. Then now you want a new screenshot. You come here and you just take a picture of that. And voila, you have your button. So now what we're going to do is we'll select Save As, and we'll save it to the location that we created to kind of store our buttons. Right, so I created mine here on the website. We'll label the button as what it is, so it's a Contact Us. So now we saved it. And now we want to upload it to our website. So then we navigate to our website. We do that by going to csuohio.edu/user and then entering in our credentials. And then here we go. And as you can see, here's the website that we have already, and this is Student Success. We have a contact us, and let's say that we just want to replace that. So we go into Edit. We come down to our Edit screen here, scroll down to where we want it to be at. Let's say we want it under this Contact Us here. So now we need to upload it. So we select the media browser icon, choose File, and then we'll again access the image that we just uploaded. There it is. Open. Next. And remember, for ADA compliance, we put contact us button. Save. Wonderful. And there it is. All right. Well, hold on. Now this is not centered, so simply come up here and you can click this, or come here and then highlight it and center it. And basically when you format it, you have width and height. What I recommend is keeping it to about 200, and then about between 75 and about 85. So 282 are great, so click that. And let's say that this button is 200 and it's 82. This is 80. Basically, if you keep on trying to change them, you might have to change one at a time. So you might change the width, hit OK, come back, reopen it, and then change the height. That way they all match. Sometimes it's a little finicky, so you might have to go in and save one at a time and adjust them. But all of the icons within, not the icons, but the buttons should have the same height and width on your site to provide some consistency. So once we have that in place, we've uploaded it, we want to attach a URL. So let's say, okay, now we want to do the link. The image info, the URL here, is the actual, when you upload it to your media browser, that's the unique URL given to just that particular image. So if you want it to link to something, you need to put it here. So we're going to have it link to just Google. Click OK, and there we go. Hit save. And then voila, we have a button. And you can go in and change it any way that you want. You can change the hyperlink by going in and editing the link. Change the height and width by going in and accessing image properties, which I did that by right-clicking on the picture and then changing that. The URL you can change by edit link. And again, you're changing the URL, not of the image itself, but where the image is going to be taking you. Or you can go into image properties and go into the link and then change that. So are there any questions, comments, concerns? If there are, then go ahead and let me know. Again, my email is j.roop@csuohio.edu. Basic tips for button making: avoid too fancy and too flashy. You don't want 18,000 buttons on your site, so that's point number 2. So avoid a lot of buttons. Number 3 is ask yourself if you should use a button or a hyperlink. Again, a good balance is better than too many buttons or too many hyperlinks. Make sure that you have all of your buttons labeled with text and an icon. Make sure that you don't make the buttons too small. So I wouldn't go any smaller than 200 as far as the width, or again about 75 for the height. And next is avoid ugly buttons. Don't get too carried away with the icons and the text, or change the text too much. Again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me, and I appreciate your time and joining me in how to design buttons. Take care.